Okay, students. Okay, so last class we're discussing about different types of water demands that is required in a city. Okay, so what are they? First one is you need water for the domestic purpose, you need water for the industrial purpose, you need water for the institution and commercial purpose, and also for the public uses, fire demand, and water is required for if there is any losses or theft. Okay, so coming to the first one, that is domestic water demand. Okay, so domestic water demand means what? The water that you're using for your daily purpose, that is your cooking, washing, cleaning, all these things. Okay, whatever the household uses, water that you are using for your household purpose is called as domestic purpose. Okay, so as per the IS code 1172 1963, we are taking under Indian normal condition, water required is 135 liters per day per capita. Okay, so this is the water that is required for one person. Okay, one person in one day under normal Indian conditions. Okay, so this may vary, this 135 may vary depending upon the social status or depending upon the climatic conditions, etc, etc. Okay, so this accounts about total of a 50 to 60 percentage of total water consumption. Okay, this 135 accounts about 50 to 60 percentage of the total water consumption. Okay, go to the next is that, so IS code lays that the domestic water consumption may vary between 135 to 225 liters per hour per day. Okay, so this is like if you're using a fully flushed system and a no flush system. Okay, so in India, not every bathrooms are having flushing system. Okay, if you go to European countries, everybody will be using a flushing system, but in India, we are not using a fully flushing system. Okay, so depending upon the flushing system, this 135 will be increased to, this 135 will be increased up to 225 liters per hour per day. Okay, so on an average, we can say that 135 liters. That is, if you want one term. Okay, if you want to say, if somebody asks you what is the average per capita day, sorry, what is the average per consumption? Okay, or what is the average per consumption of water, you can say it is 135. Okay, so exactly 130, it is not exactly 135. Actually, this value of the water consumption will vary between 135 to 225. Okay, now if you go to the developed countries like European countries, if you go there, the water consumption is up to 340 liters. Okay, there the water consumption is up to 340 liters, 340 liters per head per day. That is what this H indicates head. Okay, this is not hour, this head indicates per head. Okay, that means one person. Okay, so if you go to European countries, there the water consumption is 340 liters per person in one day. So in India, it varies, the water consumption varies between 135 to 225 liters per head per day. Okay, that is depending upon the flush system and non-flushing system. Okay, on an average, the value is 135 liters per hour, sorry, per head. Okay, this is per head per day. Okay, so this value is very important. Next one is that this is because more water is consumed in rich living in air cooling bathing tub, air cooling, bathing in bathtubs and dishwashing of utensils, car washing, home laundries, garbage grinders, etc. Okay, so why this developed countries are high water consumption means that they need more water for their, they will be bathing in a bathtubs, they will be using more water to wash their utensils. Then they need, each and every home will be having a car. Okay, so they need to wash their car. For laundries, the washing machine will take more water than the normal washing. Okay, then by hand washing, the washing machine will take more water. Okay, so because of this developed living status, the developed countries will have more water consumption. Okay, so domestic water demand, we are having an equation, that is design population into per capita. Okay, so domestic water demand is equal to number of population. Design population means what is the number of population in an area into per capita. Okay, per capita demand. Second one is industrial water demand. Okay, second one is we need water for the industries. Okay, so industries they require a lot of water, whether it is cement factory, whether it is any water it is food factories. Okay, raw materials, whatever it is, for their running and proper processing, water is very much essential. Okay, that's why you can see most of the industries they will be located near the rivers. Okay, so industrial water demand is water demand of existing or likely to be started in industries in near future. Okay, so industrial water demand, that means you have to collect water for the industrial purpose. Okay, so how we are calculating this demand is that at present there will be an industry and how much water is consumed by the industry, that you can calculate. Okay, at the same time we should also conserve some amount of water for the future. Okay, there may be any proposed site, or if there any factory is going to start at a particular site. Okay, the factory or the industry has not yet started, but there is a chance that in a near future the industry will be starting. Okay, so if that industry is starting, how much of water will be consumed by the industry, that you have to calculate. Okay, so that accounts industrial water demand. So what is industrial water demand? That is two types. That is, first one, if there is an existing industry, how much water is the existing industry consuming? Okay, that is one industrial water demand. And if there is any proposed site, and if any industry is going to start at that site, how much of water will that industry consume in near future? Okay, that is another type of industrial water demand. Okay, so in industrial water demand you have to consider these two factors. Okay, these two factors you have to consider. The quantity vary with the types and number of industries which are existing in a city. The per capita consumption on account of industrial need is generally taken as 50 liters per head per day. Okay, so the quantity of the water depends upon the nature of industries, that is what kind of industry it is and where it is existing. Okay, so that depends upon the industrial factors. Okay, on an account, as per the Indian standards, we can say that the per capita consumption of water in an industrial demand is around 50 liters per head per day. Okay, 50 liters per head per day. That means 50 liters. One person will be using 50 liters of water. Okay. In industrial city, this demand may high as 450 liters per capita per day. Okay. So if you go to the complete industrial city, if there is a lot of industries in nearby areas, this 50 liters will be going up to 450 liters per capita per day. Okay. This 50 liters, this is just an average number. Okay, but sometimes this 50 may even go up to 450 liters. Okay, the water required, because everything depends upon the industry, nature of industry. Okay, a lot of factors depending on that. This is just an average number. So water required in the industries mainly depends upon type of industries which are existing in the city. Water required by the paper factories, cloth mills, cotton mills, beverage, sugar, etc. comes under the industrial uses. Okay, the quantity of water demand for the industrial purpose is around 20 to 25% of a total demand of a city. Okay, so how much of water we require for industrial water demand industry, that is around 20 to 25% of total water consumption in a city. Okay, so for the industrial use, we required 20 to 25 percentage of total water consumption in a city. Okay, that's about industrial water demand. Okay, so industrial water demand means water that we are using for the industrial purpose, like paper factories, cloth factories, cotton factories, breweries, etc., etc. Okay, the consumption depends upon the type of industries and nature of industries. Okay, so here you have to consider two things. First of all, how uh, water consumption in the existing industries, and how much of water will be consumed by a industry in a near future, like a proposed industry in a near future. Okay, the consumption varies between 50 liters to 450 liters per capita per day. Okay, the consumption varies between 50 to 450 liters per capita per day. Okay, next one coming to institutional and commercial water demand. Okay, so institutional commercial water demand means schools, basically schools, or if there any commercial building, shops, then what to say, hotels, restaurants, then we can say cinema, theaters, then some bus stations, railway station, etc., etc. All those institution comes under this category. Okay, institution and commercial water demand. Okay, so here we can say that this accounts for about 20 liters per hour, 20 liters per head per day for highly commercialized cities, and it may be go up to 50 liters per capita per day. Okay, so for the institution and other commercial purpose, on an average, as per the IS code, it is said that we required 20 liters per head per day of water. 20 liters of 20 liters of water in one day for one person. That is 20 liters per head per day. Okay, that is for a highly commercialized cities. Not sorry, 20 liters, that is for an average value. Okay, for a highly commercialized cities, that means highly developed cities, this 20 liters may go up to 50 liters per capita per day. That is, this 20 value will go up to 50 liters. That is, one person in one day will be using 50 liters in a highly commercialized cities. On an average, we can say that institutional and commercial purpose, we require 20 liters of water for one person in one day. That is 20 liters per head per day. Okay. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is demands for the public users. Okay. So demands for this public users, this include, that is water for required for washing or sprinkling on the roads, cleaning your sewers. Okay, public parks, gardens, public foundation, etc., etc. So we are having a lot of public environment, like the road is a public environment, gardens, parks, fountains. Okay, so these all required water. The roads has to be cleaned properly, the parks, gardens, lawn, kindergartens, all this has to be properly maintained. Okay, so we require water for all these public uses. Okay, so we can say on an average for the public uses, as per the IS code, we required 10 liters per capita per day. That is, one person on an average in one day required 10 liters of water. Okay, 10 liters per capita per day. That is, on an average in a day, one person required 10 liters. So these numbers are very important. Okay. Okay. So to meet the water demand for public use, the provision of 5% of total water consumption is made designing the water works of a city. Okay, so while designing a water estimation for a city, 5% of water consumption, 5% of total water consumption, we are calculating for the public uses. Okay, that means, for example, if 100 on an average, okay, on an average, if 100 liters is 100 liters per capita per day is a water demand for a city, 5% of this 100, okay, 5% of this 100 we are taking for the public uses. 5% of total water consumption of a city is taken as water demand for the public uses. Okay, so public uses is very important. So public uses means that we are for washing roads, sewers, etc., etc. Okay, so 5% of total water consumption is taken for the water demand for the public uses. Okay. So on an average, if you want a number, we can say that it is around 10 liters per capita per day. Come to the most important one, okay, a fire demand. Okay, so in a city, you might have seen, especially in the cities like Kozhikode, we can see there will be always a fire attack, especially in the uh, mid that street, some street is no Mittai Therivu. Okay, so there you can see that number of fire attacks will occur in a city. There will be number of fire attacks in a year. Okay, so fire demand is very important. So as we consider the uh, water consumption of a city, or if you are calculating the water consumption of a municipality or whatever, it is very important that we have to calculate a water consumption for the fire demand. There is always a chance of fire attack. Okay, so if there is a fire attack, you need water to extinguish it. Okay, so how much amount of water should always be considered for extinguishing the fires? So that is fire demand. Okay, so this is one of the most important thing, fire demand, water for the fire demand. That is, if there is any fire attack in the city, you immediately you have to provide water. Okay, so always you have to store a certain amount of water in the city for the fire demand. So during a, let's see what it is. So during the fire breakdown, large quantity of water is required for throwing it over the fire to extinguish it, and therefore provision is made in the water work to supply sufficient quantity of water or keep as reserve in the water mains for this purpose. Okay, so if there is any fire attack, immediately you have to extinguish the fire. So you should always keep a reserve of water. Okay, you should always store a water in the city, and also at the same time, while calculating the water demand, you should consider certain amount of water for the fire demand also. Fire hydrants. Okay, you might have seen fire hydrants. Okay, sorry, there is a technical error. Okay. Okay, sorry for that interruption. Okay, so fire demand. So fire handles are usually fitted in the water mains at about 100 to 150 meters apart, and fire fighting pump is fitted to in case of fire. That means, okay. So usually every industries, or forget about industries, every if you say shopping malls, okay, shopping malls or whatever it is, every institution they will be having a fire hydrants. Okay, so this fire hydrants will be fitted from about 100 to 150 meters apart from the water mains. Water means there will be storage of water. Okay, there will be storage of water, and this fire hydrants will be fitted about 100 to 150 meters apart from this main water storage. Okay, 500 you might have seen people will be coming and they'll be pushing water into the fire. Okay, there will be a big hose. There will be big hose, big gigantic hose, and from that hose water will be flowing. Okay, so that is called as fire hydrant. So this is mainly fitted at a distance of 100 to 150 from a water mains. Okay, and these pumps throw water at a very high pressure. Okay, so fire hydrants, it will throw water at a very high pressure. Pressure available at a fire hydrant to be order of 100 to 150 kilonewton per meter square, and it should be maintained even after 4 to 50 hours of constant use. Okay, so while designing a fire hydrant, it is designed in a such a way that it throw water at a very high pressure. Okay, and this pressure will vary between 100 to 150 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, the pressure, okay, this pressure with which water is pushed. Okay, the pressure with which the water is pushed is around 100 to 150 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, that is, this pressure should be maintained for about 4 to 5 hours continuously. Okay, that is, so continuously 4 to 5 hours, a pressure of 400 to 150 kilonewton per meter square should be maintained in throwing water. Okay, that is in fire hydrant. It should have a pressure of, the water should be thrown in a pressure of 100 to 150 kilonewton per meter square for about 4 to 5 hours continuously. That means we are assuming that within 4 to 5 hours this fire might have extinguished. Three streams jet Three stream jets are simultaneously thrown from fire hydrants, one on burning property and one on adjacent property on either side of the burning property. Okay, this discharge of each stream should be of 1 liters per minute. Okay, these numbers are very important. Please take a note. Okay, so usually a fire hydrant will be having three stream jets. Okay, the fire hydrants will be having a three stream jets, and one will be throwing water to a burning property, and one each on the adjacent properties on the either side. Okay, one on the one will be throwing water to a burning property, and uh, for example, if this is a burning property, on either side, okay, either side you have to throw water, one each on the adjacent property on the either side of the burning property. Okay, one each on the adjacent property on the either side of the burning property. Okay. If this is a burning property, you have to throw water to this burning property. At the same time, you have to throw water to the adjacent property also. Okay, so for that you will be having three stream jets. Fire hydrants will be having a three stream jets. Okay, so one will be directly throwing water on the burning property, and two on each sides of the two on the each adjacent sides of the burning property. Okay, and this discharge of water, so this is throwing water, okay, so this water will be discharged at very high pressure of 1 liters per minute, okay, so that this individual stream, okay, this stream jet will be having a discharge of 1 liters per minute, okay. The per capita fire demand is generally ignored while computing total water demand. Kiloliters of water is required, okay. So in water demand or in water fire attack, we cannot calculate a per capita demand because one for one person like that we cannot calculate. How you will be calculating? You will be computing total per capita demand. Okay, you will be calculating total per capita demand. Why means kiloliters and kiloliters of water will be required. You have to extinguish a fire. For that, kiloliters of water will be required. Okay, so for one person here we are not calculating. Instead of that, we are calculating the total water demand, or you can say total per capita demand. Okay, so on an average, there is an equation for this, that is 100 p 1 by 2, p raised to 1 by 2. Okay, this p indicates populations in thousands. Okay, so the water, kiloliters of water that is required to extinguish a fire on an average, we can calculate with this equation, that is 100 p raised to 1 by 2. So this p indicates populations in thousand. Okay, now there is some empirical formula which has been developed to calculate fire demand. Okay, different type of Freeman's formula is there, Kochling formula is there, lot of formula is there. So out of that, one of the famous formula is Cutching's formula. Okay, so this is the Cutching's formula. From the Cutching's formula, we can say that fire demand, water that is required for the fire demand, is equal to 3182 root P. Q indicates quantity of water that is required in liters per minute, and P indicates populations in thousand. Okay, so again remember, here we are using empirical formula for the calculation of fire demand. Okay, so you have to substitute P in terms of thousand. Okay, P in terms of thousand. For example, if I am telling that P is 1 lakh, population over a city is around 1 lakh. Okay, for the population of 16, 1 lakh. If you want to substitute in this equation, how will you substitute? You have to substitute in thousands. That is 1 lakh. You have to, okay, this 1 lakh you have to divide with 1000. Okay, 1 lakh you have to divide it with 1000. So you will get how much? 100. Okay, so here the P is 100. Okay, so why? Because we are using empirical formula. Okay, this is not a normal formula, this is an empirical formula. Okay, so in empirical formula you have to substitute because of that you have to substitute populations in thousands. Okay, next and last one, that is water which is required to compensate losses and theft. Okay, so in the city you can definitely imagine there will be a lot of waste and lot of theft will be occurring. Okay, so definitely you have to consider a certain amount of water for the losses and theft. Losses means sometimes there will be leakage. Okay, sometimes the pipe will be breaking. You can here you can see pipeline is going, here the pipe has been broken. Okay, due to some reason the pipe has been broken and water is flowing. Here also we can say due to some unpredictable condition, there is a leakage and water is flowing. Okay, and sometimes people will even steal the water also. Water is one of the most important thing. Okay, so because of the scarcity of the water, all the people also require water, people may also steal the water. Okay, so the losses and theft may occur, so you have to account for that also. So that is about. So while estimate the total quantity of water for a town, allowance of 1500 of total quantity of water is made to compensate for the losses and theft and wastage of water. Okay, so allowance has to be made. Okay, a allowance of 1500. Okay, on an average we can say this is 10%. Okay, on an average we can say this is 10%. Okay, 10% of total water consumption you will be considering for the losses and theft. Okay, so losses of theft means due to that is if there is any defective pipe joints, cracks, broken, etc., etc. Okay, or if there is any theft also, it is very illegal. Okay, so on an average we can say around 10%. Normally it is taking around 10%. 10% of total water consumption you are considering for the losses and theft. Okay, see, so this is very important. Another thing, water consumption for various purpose. Okay, water consumption for various, so for the domestic water consumption normally it ranges between 65 to 300. Okay, that is about 65 to 300. On an average it is taken as 160. Okay, but in Indian condition you are taking it as 135. Okay, 135 liters per hours per day. Okay, this is okay, you don't have to study this table anyhow. Okay, next one is per capita demand. Per capita demand. So if Q is a so how will you calculate per capita demand? Okay, per capita means what? How much of water one person is consuming in one day? How much of liters of water one person is considering in one day? So how will you calculate that? Total population. Sorry, total quantity of water that is required divided by P into 365. 365 is number of days in a year. So you will get liters per day. Okay, that means 1%, how much of water he is consuming in one day. So how will you calculate? You can very simple, right? You can take total quantity of water Q divided by number of population into number of days in a year, that is 365. So you will get the liters of water that is one person is consuming in one day, that is per capita demand. Okay, anyway you don't have to calculate all these things, just you have to understand how you are getting per capita demand. Okay, okay, so this you have to study. Okay, this is a very important thing, this you have to study. For an average Indian town, requirement of water in various uses under the IS 1172. Okay, the IS condition is 1172. Okay, so that is a code that is actually referring to the water requirement, domestic water requirement of Indian conditions. Okay, so as per the IS 1172, on an average, domestic water consumption is 135 liters per capita per day. Okay, so for doing the problem, you need to get these values. Okay, so anyway, you have to by heart these values. Industrial purpose, IS code is referring a 40 liters per capita per day. For public users, IS code is referring 25 liters per capita per day. And for fire demand, it is 15 liters. Okay, 15 liters per capita per day. And for losses and thefts, it accounts for about 55 liters per capita per day. And total 270 liters. Okay, total you can say total 270 liters per capita per day. Okay, so if you are calculating a water demand for a particular Indian city, okay, you have to consider all these five factors. Okay, and how much value you have to take it as a per capita demand. This is the value. Okay, so this value into number of population, you will get the water consumption for a particular city. Okay, so if you add all these five things, you will get 270 liters per capita per day. Okay, 270 liters per capita per day. Okay, so you can directly multiply with the number of populations. Okay, you can directly multiply with the number of population, you will get how much of water is required for a particular city in one day. Okay, so this is a very important table. You have to by heart it somehow, because this is very much required for doing the problems even in future also. If you're going to any companies, or if you want to design any kind of water demand, you require these values. Okay, this is same for all Indian conditions. Everywhere in India, this is the value. Okay, so total it is 270 liters per capita per day. That means in one person required 270 liters of water in one day in an Indian town. Now, what are the factors which is affecting per capita demand? Okay, so this is first one is size of the city. Per capita demand. What are the factors which is affecting water consumption for one person? That is per capita demand. Okay, water consumption for one person. What are the factors which is affecting? First one is size of a city. Okay, so per capita for the big cities, water consumption will be more and compared to smaller towns. Okay, big cities means requirements will be more. The big cities, you can see people will be normally always using a flushing system for bathrooms. Always they'll be using a flushing system. But if you go to smaller towns, the flushing system may or may not exist. Okay, so flushing system, in one flushing you require about 15 liters of water. Okay, but in smaller towns people are not preferring. Okay, and in cities, all the time people will be washing their hands, laundries. They'll be washing their clothes using washing machine. So what if washing machine requires more water? Okay, so size of a city definitely matters. That means a big city always requires a bigger water consumption. The number of people will be more compared to a smaller town. So for smaller town, people will be very less. At the same time, their water consumption will be also very less. Second one is presence of industries or commercial activities. If there is any industries or nearby commercial activities is going on, if there is shop is there, restaurants is there, or any factories or industries are, all these factors you have to see. Third one is climatic conditions. Okay, so we are having a summer condition and we are also having a winter season. Okay, you can pause to name to mark the attendance now. You can continue in the next class.